What is up, Solow Sportsters? No need for a New Year's resolution when you've got the new Asics Gel Resolution 10. Check out this video, see what I thought of it on court, and if I'm gonna take this into the new year with me as well. And as always, you can't get through a review with me without talking about cosmetics. You know a company's feeling absolutely confident when they're coming out with a purple color as their first shoe, and especially as the one that they sent out to most of the influencers of the world to play test and review and take pictures of and do all the teasers with. Purple shoes tend not to be the greatest sellers in store. It's a very hit or miss sort of colorway. For me, I absolutely love it. I'm always looking for new colors to add to my rainbow collection of endless shoes. But also, you'll notice this shoe comes in a variety of other colors out of the gate. A couple of white options with some beautiful neon orange detailing, like the orange you see here. You'll also see in the playtest here in this video, I'm wearing the white with the, I'd call it like forest green and like sand beige sort of look, which I think is absolutely classy and reminiscent of the clay courts, and even a little bit of the Hugo Boss Gel Res 9s without the green. And then there's also a darker black with some yellow accents as well, as they're first coming out with some of these. So I always like to look at the colors that they first come out with, and if they do only basics like black, white, maybe a red or blue, it says to me that they really just want to make sure they hit everyone, and they're worried that, you know, if they don't choose normal colors, they'll scare people. You know a company is supremely confident when they come out of the gate with a purple shoe. So let's start with the upper. Though this is a full PU leather upper, it did feel relatively breathable. I'd be curious when we get into the warmer months if it really holds true. But it's also pretty soft for that sort of PU leather upper. So I didn't feel like there was any hard places poking at my foot. And if you're someone who, let's say, has like a bone spur or anything like that, I don't think there's anything super rigid on the top of the shoe that's gonna make you feel uncomfortable. The other piece that I always love to point out, and more shoes are doing this, it started with the Vapor Pro 2s, at least that's when I noticed it, and they did it here, is where the actual, like, this part of the upper, where if you are sliding on hard courts, you would actually destroy your laces, you're now protected here. So for like the Stefano Tsitsipas's of the world who had to like change their shoes out because they were destroying laces, not because they were destroying shoes, this is a really nifty feature. For those who are more humane to their shoes, I don't think it's that big a deal, but it is nice that these companies are trying to find ways to make their shoes more durable for the aggressive movers of the world. Even if they are no longer offering the durability guarantees on outsoles, they're definitely trying to find ways to make the shoe hold up a little better. Next, with any Asics shoe, and especially a gel resolution, you have to talk about the cushioning. The cushioning on these shoes is absolutely unreal. As someone who's recently gotten into padel as well as tennis, I was able to go from hard courts to harder courts and play 5 hours in a given day, and my feet were absolutely fine. So that's a huge win. The cushioning system in here is absolutely fantastic. What I would say is, especially with this Gel Res 10, it's definitely a roomier fit. So I think companies are getting more hip to the fact that everyone is looking for a wider shoe. And maybe if they're not ready to fully commit to a 2E width, which I don't think most people need, they're definitely looking for wider toe boxes. They're looking for a roomier fit. Because I think for most of us, myself included, there are ways to fill in a shoe that are much easier than trying to find ways to shrink your foot within a shoe. So for example, you can double sock as a way to help fill in a shoe, but once it's too big, it's uncomfortable, it's not usable, and you have to find a different model. So this one definitely from a width perspective and a length perspective, totally much more roomy and really appreciated, and I appreciate that Asics is listening to the market and really adjusting. So the million-dollar question whenever doing a shoe review especially is it better, is it worse than the previous generation? And for me as a player, all the changes that they made make me like it a little less, with the exception of what feels like even more cushioning and better cushioning underfoot. But all the adjustments that were made to the shoe are ones that provide even more support, more cushioning, and larger, wider fits. And more stability, which I don't particularly care for or need, but if those are things you're thirsty for, this is definitely the shoe for you. I feel like I was lower in the shoe, so it really helped lock the ankle in a bit more. I felt like the fit was a little longer. So for people who feel like, you know, everything's shrinking, this shoe definitely provides a bit of a longer fit and feel. I personally had to double sock to get into it and feel comfortable. For future purchases, I might just go down a half size. So if you're on the fence, I'd say lean towards the smaller size there. Also, definitely a wider toe box. So very comfortable. I didn't worry about any toe jamming or cramping or anything like that. So overall, compared to the Gel Res 9, I would say there's more going on in the upper and more room are the two main takeaways. Both of which I didn't care for or need. But for most of the people who come into the store and ask us for shoes, they're generally looking for a wider, more comfortable, bigger toe box, more secure, all that sort of stuff. So I think from a global perspective, I think the updates that they did on this are absolutely fantastic and on point. For me as a player personally, didn't really care that much, but overall, great update. So if you're a Gel Res 9 fan looking for that more support, more cushioning, Gel Res 10 is a must. Well, that's the end of our review of the Asics Gel Resolution 10. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're always aware of when new videos are dropping. We're always reviewing new rackets, new strings, new footwear, new everything. And if there's ever any items that you wish we would review or have any thoughts about this review, make sure you comment down below. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.